Yep. You can start with the video.
Connecture creates opportunities for people with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. On Service Mondays, we highlight a local organization or initiative. On November 6th, it's Mashup Labs, and November 27th, it's Wavefront Community Center. Every third Monday is our Perspective series, where you'll hear from guest speakers on varying topics. Join us on November 20th to tune into a discussion about navigating winter sports with a disability. Wednesdays are Chair Yoga with Bobbie Seale-Cobiskey. Thursdays are Adaptive Fitness with Ocean Rehab and Fitness. Fridays are Contemporary Improv Dance classes with Janice Lawrence. Every third Friday is a growable presentation by the Disabled Independent Gardening Association. This month, we're learning about anti-inflammatory foods with Renee Chan. We have a new program starting this December, Creative Writing. Classes will be online Tuesdays at 4 p.m. PT. Join us for a Connector Holiday Party at the Roundhouse Community Arts and Recreation Center on December 6th. Visit the events calendar on Connector's website, connector.org, for more information and to register for events, or find us on Facebook.
Okay, you can start. I'll change the view.
Awesome. Thanks, Kassar. So, welcome and thank you for joining me today for an adapted seated yoga practice. And so my name is Bobbie, for those who haven't met me yet, and for those who I've known for a while. Understandably, you know that I'm passionate about sharing this lovely chair yoga practice and adapted. So those of you who are new, I think you'll be delighted to discover just how much we can do seated in the chair. And so there's a lot more that we can do, perhaps standing, using the chair for balance. However, that is not this class. It's a conversation for another class. So I am going to move into my iPad momentarily just to put myself on gallery view. And so good. And so it's actually quite warm. I thought I was going to need something extra. I do have my socks on. It is, I think it's officially winter time, but I'm not sure, on the Sunshine Coast where I live in BC. So this is a really good time to have whatever you would need or like, and whatever yoga toys you'd like to support you in your practice today. So a few of the things that I like to have on hand is my old hippie blanket beside me, and it can have multiple uses. One of them is replacing it. It can be grounding to have it on our lap. And so that might be at the beginning of the practice or at the end, up to you. It's just nice to have a little blankie aside, your favorite. And also, this is almost always my go-to. I like to have a yoga block between my feet. And so the idea with this block is to keep my feet comfortably hip distance apart. And so however you're able to adapt this at home. I know a lot of participants are wheelchair users, and your chairs are set up nicely for you in that regard. Lastly, actually, I will show you what my feet look like, and then what I've done with my yoga mat for change. So I've actually folded in thirds, and I put my yoga block on top of it. And so because we're seated, we don't need a huge amount of yoga mat. For those of you who like to use one. So this is Old as the Hills, this particular mat, and it works just fine. And so, and I think I picked it up secondhand, or it was gifted to me. Anyway, enough talking, enough. I don't want to be a talking head. Just want to share as much of this beautiful gift of yoga. So India's gift to the West with you today. And so an invitation is always to begin a yoga practice by finding a space, if possible, where you are able to support your own spine. And so if possible, come away from the back of the chair and not so that you are able to sit forward on your sits bones. And so if that works for you, wonderful. If not, just do whatever feels most comfortable for you. And so if you need the back of the chair for support today, honor that. Yoga meets us exactly where we are. And then as ready, roll your shoulders back and down. And then an invitation to bring your hands to your chest, your heart center. So it might be palms together in prayer pose, palms open, whatever your version is. And or it might feel more comfortable to have your hands on your belly, or perhaps resting your hands evenly on your lap. And so an invitation to take a moment to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. And so setting aside whatever was going on for you before the yoga practice, for the duration, knowing that you can come back to it after class. And then when you're ready, an invitation, if your eyes are closed, to gradually blink your eyes open. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, and then shake your hands. So you can reaching up to the sky if you'd like, as high as feels comfortable for you. Then we could say good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are, to our ancestors, past, present, and future. So inviting them to join us in our practice today, or at the very least saying thank you. And then coming forward, a little waving to our ancestors. Uncle George, my dog Bubbles. And reaching up towards the sky. So I love to share the story about the woman I had in my class for a few years. She lived to be well over 100 years old. We were doing this practice of waving to our ancestors in the morning. She said, I feel like my ancestors are waving back. And so just like you're shaking water off your hands, let your arms go down wherever feels comfortable for you. And then reaching up one more time. Up, up, up to the sky. And this time on your exhale, making an audible sound, like a big yawn or sigh. Ah. Woohoo, it's yoga time. And so let's continue with a warm up, a gentle warm up. And so beginning with our head, an invitation to bring your chin gently towards your chest. And so warming up our cervical spine. So moving our head up. Moving your eyes meet where the ceiling meets the wall. Gentle movements. If you'd like, adding a little half smile, a little Buddhist smile as we practice It's gentle movement. So when we smile, it releases saliva. So you want a nice juicy mouth, juicy body. We all know what it's like to go to the dentist. And so when you're ready, bring your head back to center and then take one ear towards your shoulder. And then move your head back and forth. Go from side to side. When it's ready, bring your head back to center and then turn a soft gaze, looking just towards, like gaze towards your shoulder. Only move your head as far as feels comfortable for you. And then turn your head from side to side. As if nodding no. As ready, bring your head back to center. And so we've moved our neck through all three planes. So we'll continue the gentle movement along our spine, down along our spine, with a movement called cat and cow. So as you're ready, an invitation to draw your chest in. So it's as if your sternum is moving to the back of your ribs as you round your back. And then the sternum moves forward, lifting the sternum, opening up our solar plexus, our heart, our throat. And so continuing with this gentle movement, warm up in your own time, moving with your breath. That works for you. Right. Notice that on the inhales, the hands as we round, or pardon me, as we arch our back, hands naturally have a tendency to move towards our hips. And as we round our back, hands naturally move towards our knees. I think just keep your own practice going. I'm just going to turn sideways on the chair. I'm thinking that might be helpful in terms of a visual. Let's see what's going on. Actually, get a better view of what's going on with the spine. And so move in a way that feels natural for you. So natural that your movements and your breath become one. As ready, finish up the movement that you're on. And I'm going to turn facing forward again. And so take a moment. And then when you're ready, hold on to the side of the chair wherever you need to feel stable and balanced. And then an invitation, if it works for you, to reach one hand towards the earth, the floor. And so we want our shoulder lined up with shoulder. Imagine that you're seated between two panes of glass, if you'd like. And then move from side to side. And so it might be helpful as you reach towards the floor to do it on an exhale. Inhale, come back center, and then exhale down to the other side. Or maybe it feels better to inhale to one side, exhale to the other. And lastly, if you are congested or you have an obstruction, breathe in whatever way you can. And so you might notice that as we practice this gentle movement, as we warm up our spine, the movements become more easeful. We're able to go a little bit deeper. And then slowly come on back to a neutral spine. And from here, we'll come into a seated twist. So beginning at the base of your spine, the base of your lower back, actually. Come in the pose, the base of your lumbar spine. So coming into the twist, beginning at the base of your lumbar spine, moving up one vertebrae at a time. And that hand that's moving towards the outside and towards your hip moves in towards your hip. And so moving dynamically, so from side to side. So this is a gentle twist. We're not going to our full range of motion. Hands ready, come on back to a neutral spine, take a moment. And if you'd like, feel free to close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And notice how these movements of the spine, these movements, gentle movements, made you feel. Have you noticed a change? And so notice any subtle sensations. How's your breath? Is it still long and smooth and easeful? And so moving on with your hands resting where they are, tap your fingers. And so micro movements, visualizing the movements, focusing on what we can do. So any kind of movement is beneficial. And then if you'd like, you could play with tapping from your pinkies to your thumbs. And then maybe thumbs to pinky. So this is not the natural way for us to move our hands, typically. So it can be pretty challenging. And then as you're ready, air piano. We're getting that synovial fluid into our joints. Happens, motion is motion, moving. And then when you're ready, turn your palms face up. And then I'd like you to join me in a practice for our brain health. And so particularly our memory. And so I'd like you to press your thumbs into each fingertip. And so index, middle, ring, pinky. So again, the fingertips, you might be able to reach your fingertips, maybe not. So as long as we're moving into that, in that direction, it's beneficial hugely. And so index, middle, ring, pinky. And now if you'd like to add a sound to the movement, the sounds would be this little children's song that I love that I learned some time ago. And you can do the silently as meditation. You don't have to chant out loud or sing out loud. But the right, left combined with the sound is good for brain health. Don't take my word for it, investigate. First of all, notice how you feel. You're the world-class expert on your body. And so here we go. Peace begins with me. 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 When you're ready, reach your arms up to the sky, so as high as feels comfortable for you. And then just like you're shaking water off your hands, let your arms float down by your side or wherever is comfortable. And you did a little wiggly fidgets, you could do a little bum dance. Okay. So at this time, I'd like to share a quote that came on my radar again. And just recently, so I was tempted to save it till the end of the class as part of the meditation, but I'm going to go ahead and read it now. And so it's a quote by John Lennon. And actually part of it's visual, so I'm going to come in a little closer and just show you this. I don't know if that translates or not. I've had this for many years. And so I dusted it off not too long ago. And so here it goes. So when I was 5 years old, my mother always told me that happiness was the key to life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment, and I told them they didn't understand life. John Lennon. And so I think I'll read it one more time. So when I was 5 years old, my mother always told me that happiness was the key to life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment, and I told them they didn't understand life. John Lennon. Thank you, John Lennon. And so on that happy thought, moving on, let's just roll our shoulders back and down. So soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. Warming up for a day, roll your shoulders forward, down, and back. And then if you'd like, maybe alternating from side to side. And slowly sitting up nice and tall. Bring your hands back to your lap or wherever feels comfortable. And take a moment. And then from here, I'd like to invite you to roll your wrists. So an invitation to explore slowing the movements down. And to maybe even take a look at your hands with appreciation. And so most of us use our hands more than our feet. And then as you're ready, roll your wrists in the opposite direction. And then imagine you're moving your hands through water. So water is yin, cooling, feminine energy. Hands ready, push your hands away. So the wrists are flexed, push your hands away. Pull your hands back. Push your hands away. Pull your hands back. And so with this movement, not only are we getting into all the major joints in our arms, we're getting into the muscles around our shoulder blades. So on the inside and the outside of our shoulder blades. We're giving ourselves a little back massage. We'll push your hands away, pull your hands back. And then slowly come out of the pose or the movement. And again, a little wiggly fidget. Kind of check in. How's your breath? Is it still smooth and long and easy? And so our breath is one of our main teachers. It'll let you know if you're into it goes too deep, moving too quickly. Sometimes when we're working hard, we have a tendency to hold on to our breath. And so really that's the time when we really need our breath more than ever. So your breath is one of your main teachers. And so from here, let's come into yoga, a side bend. Apologies, my brain's a little scattered today. So extend your opposite arm, and then I'd like you to turn your palm face up, and then palm face down. And maybe notice which feels better for you. And then in addition to that, I'd like to invite you, if possible, to take your hand to your shoulder. So you're placing your hand on your shoulder. Another alternative might be hand at your hip, or today I might feel comfortable to reach up and over. And so today I'm going to keep my hand on my shoulder. So we're going to begin with an inhale, lengthen your spine, and then come into your side bend. Keeping your sits bones on the chair, turn your gaze down towards the floor. Breathe into your rib cage. Can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? As ready, come out of the pose. And we'll come into the side bend on the other side. So taking hold of the underside of the chair, wherever you need to feel stable and balanced. Extend your opposite arm, spiral your palm open. Soft bend in your elbow. Take your arm up to your place. If it feels okay for your neck, turn your gaze down towards the floor. Breathe into your rib cage. And we'll come out of the pose on this side. Take a moment. So really the yoga happens between the movements and the poses. Notice how you feel. So not about what the form looks like, the movement. Diagnostic tools, how do I feel? And so let's practice this side bend one more time. Take your arm out, spiral your palm open. So you're taking your hand to your hip, maybe hand on your shoulder, reaching up and over. Into your side bend and keeping your sits bones on the chair. And so if you're blessed with a yoga buddy, perhaps they can help guide the movements. Of course, not doing the work for you. And then come out of the pose on this side. So other side, whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. So always possible. So it might be that today you visualize the movement. So it might be a good starting point, or you are doing the physical movement. So hold the side of the chair for stability, extend your opposite arm, spiral your palm open, up, and then into the pose. And slowly come out of the side bend on this side. Whew. So, how's your breath? Your old friend, your breath. Notice any subtle sensations. And has anything changed? Maybe you feel a little more energy, maybe fatigue. Can you name the sensation? So from here, I'd like to transition in to a practice called finding our balance. And so sitting up nice and tall, and making sure that if you know balance is a challenge for you, we are going to be moving forward and back. So making sure you have whatever you need to keep you stable in your chair, whatever device. And so sit up tall and then hinging from the hips. Come forward, pardon me, about 20% if that's possible for you, not contraindicated. Tuck your chin in slightly. And then let's rock back up. So moving forward and back. So balance, the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. And so you might take a look at your feet as you move forward if that's helpful. And then it's ready, slowly make your way back to a neutral spine. Relax your arms wherever feels comfortable for you. And then from here, an invitation with your hands at your hips, you're holding the chair. I like to have my hands on my hips for this movement. I'd like to invite you to circle your heart forward and then circle your heart back. And so your circles might be bigger or smaller than mine. So move in your own time and rhythm. And as you begin to feel your lower back, your hips soften and release, see if you can go a little bit deeper. Shoulders moving towards our knees, and of course, your thighs. We're not coming all the way down. As ready, circle in the opposite direction. Bring a gentle awareness to the space in front of you. Bring your awareness to the space beside you. Notice how does bringing your awareness to the space beside you make you feel? Bring your awareness to the space above you. And particularly an invitation to take your awareness to the space behind you. And so, invitation, moving away from me to we, to trust that we are being supported. And then come on back to a neutral spine. Rest your hands in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable. Belly is soft, breath is quiet. Okay, so moving on, let's pay some attention to our feet. So I'd like you to ground through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. And so feeling a sense of gravity, perhaps, moving our shoulders away from our ears and down to our feet. If possible, maybe wiggling your toes, picking up your toes, creating space between your toes. Ground through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. So we want to keep our connection with Mother Earth, and we tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Maybe notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. So you do a little little bum dance, little rear end dance. And so lengthen your spine, shoulders back and down. Chin in, parallel with the floor. And so from here, invitation to bring your arm up in line with your shoulder, if that feels comfortable. So I'm going to suggest that you move towards your 50% to start with. Turn your palm face up. Soft bend in your elbow, extend your arm away from you. Bring your arm back center, palm face down, release. Other side, reach your arm up, turn your palm face up, extend your arm away from you. Bring your arm back center, palm face down, release. So we'll continue with the movement, this time an invitation, if it feels okay for your neck, to turn your gaze looking past your hand, or just past your shoulder. Soft gaze. If that feels comfortable, if not, keep a soft gaze forward. So here we go. Begin again, fin again. Reach up, turn your palm face up. So soft gaze forward, or taking your gaze, looking past your shoulder. As you take your arm out to the side. Bring your arm back center, palm face down, release. Other side, reach up, turn your palm face up. Exhale, leg, moving with your breath. Arm comes out to the side. Inhale, come back center. Palm face down. So one more time, this time adding the sound to the movement if you'd like. On the exhale, whether you're gazing forward or taking your neck or head out towards the side, the sound is shh. So sound has a vibration. Inhale, come back center, palm face down, release. Other side, reach up, spiral your palm open. Moving with grace and ease, bring your arm out to the side. Inhale, come back center, palm face down, release. Little shake out, wiggly fidget. Woo-hoo. Okay, so I'm just going to look at notes. So I think what I'd like to share with you this time is a breathing practice called Breath of Joy. And it is exactly what it sounds like, breath of joy. So happiness, joy. Yeah, so a good thing. And so one of the interesting things, just before we do the actual breathing practice, one of the things that I learned about laughter is that it actually extends the exhale, which is a really good thing. So if when we extend our exhale, it engages the relaxation response. And so allowing us to let go of holding stress and tension. And so here we go, breath of joy. So the way we practice it is an inhale through your nose. So 3 sniffs in through your nose, your nostrils, unless you're congested. And then it's an exhale. And the exhale kind of takes care of itself. And so we can add arm movements to this if it works for you. And I'll just demo what the arm movements are first of all, so you have an idea for those of you who are new to the practice. And so it would be inhale, 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 and then exhale. And so if the breath part works for you, great. If not, just do your own thing, have fun. And this, my only condition is you make sure that there isn't anybody or anything nearby that you can whack your hand on. And that you're stable in your chair. So here we go. Inhale, 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 and drop. Inhale, 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 inhale. And actually, let's do it one more time. Inhale, 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 and nice. So now, invitation to take your hands so that they're fairly close together. You might close your eyes softly if that feels okay. And I'd like you to notice any subtle sensations between your hands. And so maybe a little warmth or heat. And bring your hands a little further apart and closer together. So this is not a test. You might feel something, you might not. No right or wrong. And then when you're ready, turn your palms face up. Reach up to the sky. This gentle back arch, so as high as feels comfortable for you. And then palms face down, an invitation to make the sound ma, to honor Mother Nature. Ma. Inhale. On your exhales, you lower your arms, sound ma. This time, as you're ready, if it feels okay for your neck, reaching your arm up, gazing up past your hand, towards your hand, as high as feels comfortable for you, and sounding ma. So bowing your head, gives us a little nerve flossing for neck. Other side, spiral your palm open, softening your elbow, inhale, reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, ma. Both arms reach up this time. And when you're ready, taking your hands back to your heart center. Ma. Bowing your head towards your heart. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. And let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. So your natural rhythm, maybe observing the rise and fall of your abdomen and your chest. And wiggly fidget. So do a little bum dance. So as one of my teachers through the years would say, be creative, right? So moving in our own time and rhythm. Okay. So an invitation now to repose. Coming forward in the chair about 2/3 of the way, if that's available to you. Maybe taking a look at your feet and tracking hip, knee, ankle. Place your feet parallel. I'd like you to notice what placing your feet parallel looks like for you. How does it feel to maybe have your feet hip distance apart? And so it is not one size fits all. If that feels good for you, hip distance, wonderful. If not, place your feet whatever way works for you. And then as you're ready, an invitation to join me to practice a meditation on the heart. So gentle chest opener. So you bring your hands into prayer pose at your heart center. Or perhaps at your Buddha belly. Breathing in. So linking your breath with your movements, if that feels okay for you, extend your arms up and away. And then making soft fists, take your hands back to your heart center. And so inhale, extend your arms up and away. And so I like to have my arms a little lower than my shoulders. Maybe for you, arms are up higher or even lower than mine. And so if we can, as we continue this gentle movement, heart opener, I'd like to invite you to imagine the sun at your heart center. And as you breathe in, extending your arms out to the side, imagine the radiant light of the sun radiating out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. So it's a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale, extending your arms up and away. And exhale, making the sound, a humming sound, like a bumblebee. Inhale. Inhale. So bumblebee breath, a traditional yogic breathing technique. Place one hand on your Buddha belly, that area between your navel and your pubic bone. Your other hand on your heart center, your chest. And maybe take a moment to notice the rise and fall of your belly and your chest. And again, a little shake. Okay. Wiggly fidgets. Okay, so I'm just taking a look at the time. I'm just going to refer to my notes a little bit. And see where we're at. All right, so I think I'd like to come into a modified version of sun salutation at this point. And so sitting up nice and tall, ground down through your sits bones. Okay, maybe notice where your bum and thighs are in contact with your seat. Lengthen your spine. Roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable. As ready, an invitation to tuck your chin in slightly, so it's parallel with the floor. And so come into mountain pose, seated, modified. Open up your armpits. Take your hands to your heart center or your Buddha belly, whichever works for you. And then reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. And so bending from above our shoulder blades. As ready, coming into a forward fold. So could be that it feels good, as it does for me, to come forward with, I have soft bits at my hips. Maybe for you, it's holding on to the other side of the chair. And so noticing that sometimes when you come into a forward fold, our chin wants to jut up. So I invite you to tuck your chin in slightly. Forward folds. And then it's ready, pushing down through your inner heels. So it might be an energetic pushing down. And so we're going to make our way back up, coming into a lunge. And so modified seated in the chair. So it might be that if possible, you take your leg under the front of the chair. Or you're visualizing the movement. Take your arm out to the side if you like. Extend your arm up. So bring your arm into a goalpost or reaching up to the sky. So arm can be up along your ear. Float your arm down. Step your foot forward. And then hinging from the hips, Coming forward just a little into downward facing dog. So it might be arms on a diagonal, hands reach towards where the ceiling meets the wall. Alternatively, it might feel better for you today to have your forearms resting on your thighs. And so either way, lengthen your spine, push down through your sits bones, chin in. And then as you're ready, come into baby cobra. So placing our hands on our thighs, lower your head, and then lift up through the crown of your head. So lift up through the crown of your head. Baby cobra. Downward facing dog. The arms are on a diagonal. Maybe it's one arm. So it's not about forcing one limb to do what the other is doing. Maybe it feels better to have your forearms on your lap. As ready, pressing down through your inner heels. Again, it might be an energetic pushing down. Come on back up to neutral spine. Mountain pose. Hands at your heart center. Reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. If it feels okay for your neck, take a look between your palms. Notice if they're facing each other, and then return your gaze on the horizon. Hinging from the hips, come into a forward fold, chin in. Keeping the sits bones on the chair, pressing down through your inner heels, come back up into a lunge. So whatever your version is, so it might be arms on a diagonal. And so feel that lovely diagonal line of energy. Maybe it's one arm reaching up. Alternatively, if you like, you take your forearms to your lap. Chin in. Notice where you're feeling this and breathe into that area. As ready, into baby cobra. So you might lower a little more, lower your head, and then lift up through the crown of your head. Downward facing dog again, whatever your version is today. Come on back up, pushing down through your inner heels. Back to neutral spine, arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. Reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. And our hands come back to the heart. So mountain pose, hands at our heart center. Reach up to the sky, gentle back arch. Hinging from the hips, forward fold. Downward facing dog. Baby cobra. Lift up through the crown of your head. Downward facing dog. Come back up into a lunge. So you'd step that front leg under the chair if possible, or visualizing the movement. Add your arm if you like, reaching up on your ear, golden pose. When you're ready, float your arm down, step your foot forward. Spiral your palms open, reach up to the sky. So scooping up that radiant light in the sun. And then bringing that inside. Taking our hands back to our hearts. Up and take a rest. And so adjusting, and closing your eyes softly, you're softening your gaze. Let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. And so your natural rhythm. Maybe observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. So from here, we'll transition into a short guided meditation and your final relaxation. So we're going to come down off the mountain. And I think I'd like to come into the screen a little closer and adjust the light. So feel free to adjust your lighting. I would like you to find a place that's sit in a way that you feel the most at ease. And so you're at ease, sitting at ease, but still alert. And yeah, if you need something to stay warm, maybe a blanket on your lap, whatever works for you. So I'm going to come into the chair. It's a little closer. And so I recently injured my knee, so it's not serious. However, I am hobbling a little bit. So grateful that I have my yoga practice to help me with the healing. And so whatever you need to stay warm, put my little jacket on, and I have my favorite yoga blankets. Okay. And so sitting comfortably again. So we're sitting comfortably, but we're still alert. And so an invitation to place your palms face down on your lap. Actually, the blanket's not the best right now. So hand gestures in yoga were created to help us focus our mind. You can place your palms face down on your lap. And then draw your hands in towards your hips. Look down and into your heart, see what you can see. And then an invitation to breathe into your heart. And so breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I release. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. And so we'll sit and take a few breaths together with a gentle reminder. Breathing. And so without changing anything, bring a gentle awareness back to your breath. Thank your body. Thank your body. Okay. Our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. Maybe pressing into rubbing the tips of your fingers. Alternatively, perhaps taking a look around the beautiful space you're in and naming 3 objects that you can see. Bring us back. And so thank you. Notice how you feel before and after yoga practice. Questions or feedback, always love to hear from you. And so I need to preempt that with, I don't always have the answer right off the top of my head. Certainly I'll do my best if I'm not able to answer it today to find the answer. So thank you again, Kausar, my lovely tech host, the Disability Foundation Connectra. And so if you feel inclined, I'd like to invite you to either go to YouTube or Facebook or maybe the Disability Foundation or Connectra's website. And if you wouldn't mind liking the class, that would be amazing. It will help keep the class going. And so take care. And it's that season. So Carrie, thank you. Nema didn't stay in bed today. One of my students used to wear a t-shirt, and on the t-shirt it said, Nema didn't stay in bed today. So I appreciate the effort that it took to get her. And before I start crying, I'm just going to say enough from me.
So thank you, Bobbie, and thank you, Connectra.
Yeah, you're welcome, Janet.
Okay, well.
All right, I think I talked this time. I'm getting ready for when I see my dentist this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And he is fitting me for my crown, so
Oh, that would be good.
a little hyper.